You're listening to the Small Business Accelerator podcast, accelerating success, one founder at a time.
With your hosts, Roger Bryant and Sarah Wilson.
We support small business owners, the little guys. We're here to help you win in today's landscape.
Join us each week as we reveal powerful strategies for small business owners that save you time and money.
Because we believe every small business owner should have access to Fortune 500 style strategies without breaking the bank.
Subscribe now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts to accelerate your small business success. Ever feel like you're haunted? Like the ghost of entrepreneurs past is right there on your bedside clock at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
You are not alone.
definitely not.
In fact, you specifically requested a deep dive into banishing this dreaded 3 a.m. anxiety. So
Absolutely.
that's what we're here to do, to tackle this thing head on.
Yeah, it's funny. We always hear about those quiet, creative moments that happen in the wee hours, those moments of genius, right?
Right.
But it seems like for entrepreneurs, those are the prime hours for anxiety to kick in.
Yeah, it's like the fear of missing out on sleep is the ultimate FOMO.
Right.
So we're diving into two sources today. First up, Banish 3 a.m. Anxiety, a guide that promises just that, right?
Yeah.
And we've also got this intriguing ad for a business automation course. It seems like a left turn, I know, but trust us, the connection will make sense.
It will. It will.
So let's unpack this Banish 3 a.m. anxiety guide a little bit. It starts with the point that you made, this cruel irony that entrepreneurs are often at their most driven at night.
Yes.
But that's often when anxiety can spiral out of control.
Yes.
Like when I suddenly decide at 2 a.m. that my entire pricing model is totally wrong.
Yeah. And there's a real reason for that, The guide talks about how our prefrontal cortex, which is, the part of our brain responsible for rational decision-making, basically clocks out early.
Huh.
It's like letting a teenager run the finances at night.
That explains a lot, actually.
Yeah.
So it's not just me, then?
No, it's not just you being dramatic at 3 a.m., though. This guide cites a study, I think it was done by, some university, but they found that entrepreneurs specifically experience a significantly higher cortisol spike in the late evening compared to other professions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's not just in our heads.
No.
Our bodies are literally working against us.
Yeah, they are. And it gets worse.
Oh, no.
Remember that cortisol spike?
Yeah.
It makes us fixate on worries.
Okay.
And those physical symptoms, the racing heart, that pit in your stomach, that makes it feel real, even if it's just all in your head, a perceived threat.
Right.
It's just your body doing what it does.
But we're basically hardwired to be our own worst enemy at 3 a.m.
Pretty much.
Like, that's rough. But the guide says this is common, though, right? Like, how many of us are actually out there battling these anxieties?
A lot. You're definitely not alone. The guide actually mentions that almost 60% of entrepreneurs report experiencing regular sleep disturbances,
Wow.
with anxiety being the primary culprit.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's a big problem. And then it gets into what this anxiety actually looks and feels like.
Okay.
Because, it's not just feeling a little stress, right?
Right.
We're talking racing thoughts about finances,
Yeah.
replaying past mistakes.
Yep.
That feeling of dread about the next day's to-do list.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all cranked up to 11.
Yes, it's all the worst things.
It's the worst, yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to get a little anxious just hearing about all this, which is ridiculous because the good news is we're not just diagnosing the problem here, right? This guide actually offers some solutions.
Yes, absolutely.
Like actual things that we can do about it.
It really dives into some powerful techniques to regain control.
Okay.
And it starts with one that's so simple, you might be tempted to dismiss it,
Okay.
Deep breathing.
Okay. But how does that actually help when my brain is convinced that my business is about to go bankrupt?
Because when we're anxious, our breathing gets really shallow.
Okay.
And that actually activates our fight or flight response.
Right.
The guide points to, there's actual research that shows that deep, slow breaths can actually calm your nervous system down. It lowers your heart rate,
Okay.
reduces those racing thoughts.
So it's like hitting the brakes on that anxiety spiral.
Exactly. Okay. They recommend a simple 5-second rhythm.
Yeah.
Inhale through your nose for a count of 5.
Mm.
Hold for another 5, and then exhale slowly through your mouth for 5 more.
I'm adding breathe to my to-do list right now.
There you go.
What else does the guide recommend?
Well, another technique that really resonated with me is what they call mindful acknowledgement.
Okay.
And it's not about ignoring those worries that are popping up at 3 a.m. It's about actually naming them out loud, almost like you're taking their power away.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So instead of just letting that thought, like, what if nobody buys my product?
Yeah.
Just spin around in your head.
Right. Yeah, just constantly.
You say it out loud. You're like, I'm feeling anxious that my product won't be successful. The guide even suggests having like a dialogue with your anxiety.
Oh, wow.
Ask it what it's trying to tell you.
Interesting.
Sometimes just bringing those fears out into the open can really lessen their grip.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's like once you voice them, it's almost like those anxieties, they have to face the light of day then, and they don't seem so scary anymore.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Take away their power.
Okay.
And then there's a more physical technique the guide talks about called progressive muscle relaxation.
Okay.
It sounds a little out there,
Right.
but the idea is that by tensing and relaxing different muscle groups, you're essentially interrupting your body's stress response.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like our bodies are holding on to a lot of stress that we don't even realize.
Yes.
And so if we can relax the body, maybe the mind will follow.
Precisely. Yeah. Start with your toes, tense them up for a few seconds, then release. Work your way up your body, focusing on each muscle group.
Okay.
It can be a really powerful way to release tension and promote sleep.
These are all really great tactics for those moments when anxiety hits.
Yeah.
But what if we could prevent those 3 a.m. spirals in the first place?
Right.
That's where I'm curious about this business automation course.
Yeah.
Could that be the long-term solution that we're looking for here?
That's what's so fascinating about your request.
Okay.
You've unintentionally hit on a key point here.
Okay.
This ad for Automations Made Easy might actually be onto something.
Okay.
Think about the anxieties we were just discussing.
Mm-hmm.
Finances, to-do lists, feeling overwhelmed.
Yes.
What if automation could alleviate some of that?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll admit the idea of automation has always intimidated me a little bit.
Yeah.
It feels very tech person.
Right.
And that's not exactly my strong suit.
I hear you, but this ad makes a point of saying that it's designed for everyone,
Okay.
not just tech wizards.
Okay, good.
It promises a step-by-step approach guiding you on, which tools are right for your business.
Okay.
They even have a section on, like, real-time automation builds, whatever those are.
Okay, so instead of staying up all night stressing about my to-do list,
Yeah.
I could potentially automate some of those tasks and actually get some sleep.
Imagine this.
Okay.
You wake up not to a racing mind going a mile a minute,
Yeah.
but to a sales report that was generated overnight.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or your social media posts are scheduled for the week.
Okay.
Freeing up your mental space for the more creative work that you want to be doing.
Yeah. Okay, now that you mention it, like automating some of those more routine tasks
Yeah,
would free up so much time and headspace.
absolutely.
It would almost be like having an assistant, but without the overhead.
Exactly. That's the idea. And that's
Right.
what's so intriguing about connecting these two sources, right?
Okay.
One is addressing the immediate anxiety with these practical techniques,
Right.
while the other one's exploring a more preventative approach,
Okay.
a way to kind of restructure your work life to reduce those anxieties in the first place.
So it's like we're kind of tackling this 3 a.m. anxiety from both angles here.
Yeah.
We're calming the storm,
Yeah.
but then also trying to figure out how to prevent it altogether.
Absolutely. And that's, I think, the beauty of having these two sources,
Right.
We're not just offering a temporary fix here.
Right.
It's like, how can we actually restructure
Right.
how you work and hopefully how you sleep?
Yeah, this is making me realize how much mental energy I waste on things that could probably be automated.
Right.
Like, no wonder I'm lying awake at night,
Exactly.
stressing about all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But where do we even begin?
Well, the Automations Made Easy course seems to offer a bit of a roadmap,
Okay.
but I think even before diving into a course like that,
Okay.
maybe tonight while you're practicing those, breathing techniques,
Right.
just think about, like, what are the top 3 tasks that are really stealing your time and energy?
Okay, that's doable. Let me think. For me, it would probably be scheduling social media,
Mm-hmm.
answering those like repetitive customer emails,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely expense reports.
There you go. You've already
The
identified.
bane of my existence.
Yes, exactly. Areas that are ripe for automation.
Right.
So the guide even encourages you to, like, actually write these tasks down
Yeah.
and ask yourself, like, could technology take care of this for me?
That's a really good question to ask.
Yeah.
And once we've like identified those tasks, what's the next step? Do we just Google automation software and hope for the best?
Well, that's where a course like Automations Made Easy could be helpful, right?
Right?
Because they seem to really focus on choosing the right tools
Right.
for your specific needs, which I think is key.
Right, because the last thing I need is another, expensive software subscription to something that I have no idea how to use.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, we should probably mention that we're not affiliated with this course at all. We just thought the ad was interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're simply exploring the possibilities here.
Yeah.
But I do think it would be valuable to at least visit their website. I know it was mentioned in the ad.
Okay.
But, even just browsing it might spark some ideas for you.
All right. Consider it done.
There you go.
Okay. So to recap, tonight's action plan,
Yes.
try a relaxation technique,
Yes.
pinpoint those time-sucking tasks,
Love it.
and maybe do a little light automation research.
There you go.
It can't hurt.
Exactly. And remember, even if you're skeptical about automation, even if you're like, I'm a technophobe, I don't do tech, a little curiosity can go a long way.
It's true. It's true. What's the worst that could happen?
Exactly.
We finally conquer these 3 a.m. anxieties
There you go.
and reclaim those precious hours for, well, sleep sounds pretty great, actually.
Imagine that, waking up refreshed, not because the worries magically vanished, but because you've set up systems to kind of,
Manage them.
manage them. Exactly.
Okay, you officially convinced me I'm putting Explore Automation at the top of my to-do list.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks for diving into all this with us.
My pleasure. It was great being here.
Always great to chat with you. And remember, everyone, knowledge is power, but action is where the real magic happens. So
That's right.
get out there, start automating, and hopefully we'll all be sleeping a little bit better from now on.
Sounds good to me.
Until next time, happy sleeping entrepreneurs. Thanks for tuning in to the Small Business Accelerator podcast.
We really hope today's strategies help you grow your business without breaking the bank.
Don't forget to check the show notes for links to resources we've handpicked for small business success.
If you found value in today's episode, it would make our day if you subscribed to the podcast and left us a review.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And stay tuned for our next episode. Next time, we'll reveal yet another game-changing strategy that's revolutionizing how small businesses on a shoestring budget take on giant corporations and accelerate their success.
Until then, keep accelerating your success.
This is Sarah Wilson.
And Roger Bryant, signing off.